Okay. After having a good night's sleep about all this, after going through clips again, going through interviews, going through everything, last night I posted saying, you know, I had some issues with the show, but overall I think it was still really good. And I gave it like a 7 out of 10. After thinking about this more, I'm going to drop my rating and also explain all my problems because I actually have a lot more problems with the show than I actually realized. Because I was in the heat in the moment after seeing the Omibozu water dragon thing. That thing got me got me real hype. I'm sorry about that, but yep, it was hype. But okay, let me explain now my problems with this show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Netflix. One of the biggest problems to me, and I think this you'll hear this from everyone, is the pacing. The pacing of the show is terrible. And when I say terrible, I mean it will go from perfectly paced from one episode, and then the next episode it is horrible pacing. And this and even if you're not a fan of the show, if you've never seen the original, you can still see that this is horribly paced. You can still see that they're kind of going through this stuff really fast. Like they're not letting anything like sit and breathe. Some character moments or character relationships are kind of moving too fast. Like Sokka and Yue suddenly falling for each other after two scenes. Two scenes. This is actually not better. This is that whole thing between them is really not that much better than the whole Shyamalan thing, where in the movie Shyamalan, the movie that we say does not exist in Boxing Say, he said they say my brother and the princess got along really well. They really liked each other. That's really not much better than what they did in the show because they only had two. It was one look, then they had one more scene together in the kitchen, and then the very next scene we have them. They're already kissing. That was not that much better. And this pacing issue comes from the fact that they tried to cram in, and I mean cram in, 4 to 5 episodes in 4 of the live action episodes. 4 of the live action episodes. And in the other 4, it was about maybe 1 or 2. And it's why I was so flip-floppy with my reviews, where I said, I love this episode. I'm really not really feeling this episode. I really love this episode. I'm not really feeling this episode. It all makes sense now. Because the episodes where they're only adapting 1 to 2 episodes was the better one. Those were the ones that I actually felt something for. Those are the ones that I can actually get invested in. When I'm watching, what was it? I think it was like episode 4, where they're in Omashu. And we're having one episode where like Aang versus Bumi. Where Katara and Aang are not, where Katara and Sokka are not even there. Katara and Sokka are, excuse me, Katara and Sokka? They're in the Cave of Two Lovers. Also, we're getting Zuko and Iroh getting kidnapped by Earthbenders. And then at the same time, we're also dealing with lingering jet stuff. Oh, and I forgot, we're also dealing with the Inventor. Episodes that were all separate by themselves. They never interacted. Episodes that were all 5 episodes by themselves. All crammed into one. Plus Badger Moles. And it's like, gee, I wonder why I just was not really feeling this episode. So pacing is a big one. They crammed in way too much. They really actually needed to give this show 12 episodes. And I said that from the beginning. This show needed at least 12 episodes. If it got 12 episodes, this show would have been paced perfectly. But my problems don't just end there. Let's talk about Aang. Aang, the master of all four elements. Aang. You know, in the animated show, in season one, Aang was bending air and water. He started bending water. I want to say the seventh or eighth episode. By season two, he was bending air, earth, and water. And by season three, he was bending all four elements. And actually, in fact, in season one, he also bent fire for like an episode. Guess how many elements Aang in the live action can bend without going into the Avatar state? Guess. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 5? No, in fact, the only element Aang can bend is freaking airbending. The bending he already had. He does not learn a single, and I need this, a single waterbending technique at all. Aang is officially weaker than his season 1 counterpart. And that messes up with the timetable of him having to stop Ozai before Sozin's comet. Because now he's behind. They're already leaving the Northern Water Tribe without Aang learning a single bit of waterbending. But Paku wants to hit a Katara. You're a master now. You can teach him. How can Katara... First of all, how can Katara even be a master when no one taught her? Paku, you didn't teach her. You didn't teach her anything. How is she a master when no one's taught her and then you expect her to teach Aang? Because in the show, it at least made sense where they spent a good amount of time at the Northern Water Tribe. Paku was training both of them. Katara caught on a lot faster and actually became competent enough where while she was still learning herself, she could effectively teach Aang after they left. But no, in this show now, if this skill gets to season 2, which I still want to point out, I wanted to get to season 2 because I love Avatar. That now we have a Katara who's apparently a master now, has enough skill to teach Aang. So in season 2, Aang has to learn both waterbending and earthbending at the same time. One of the bending where he will struggle with the most, where we had a whole episode where he stated why it was so hard for him to learn earthbending. On top of that, now he has to learn the basics of waterbending too. I have so much more to say because that's not the end of it. Let's get into the whole... Well, I don't even know where to start with this. With the whole Avatar Kirk, what did you do to him? He was literally supposed to go with the flow Avatar, but he was literally acting like he was damn Kyoshi. Everything he was saying to Aang sounded like he was basically a stand-in for Kyoshi. Like, full stop. And here's the thing, it makes sense, because hey, here's the thing. I think in the novel it's that Kyoshi does not like Kirk because of how he was. Oh, wow. But, look, this show, I have 3 more problems I want to go in, and I will get into that into the next section, but I'm already at 9 minutes here, and I'm not even done. I already have so much more problems with this show, which is why I need to drop my rating. I need to drop down my rating. Because after just thinking about it, I was like, nah, this is not a 7. Like the One Piece live action, that was like a 7. But this, now I'm thinking about it. Cannot be. So follow, drop like, follow if you have any concerns or questions, comment down below, alright?